Hello, everybody on Secret Patreon. Shh.
3, 2.
My phone is totally moving, new and improving. I never get better. I've got the heart and desire. My balls are on fire, ready to take us to the top. Welcome to the show. Did you know that your mom is nice? She's nice. She's really nice. All hail the king of the West! Did you know Jimi Hendrix didn't even have a guitar, and he was hanging out with these other dudes that were like real cool in a band, and they're still alive, some of them, and they're still in a band. Jazz improv guys, you know what I mean? Like, get down. And
Sounds like some cool cats.
they were the super cool cats, and they thought that Jimmy was such a cool cat that they let him like squat around them. He was a squatter.
Yeah, I heard he copped a mean squat.
I heard he could squat like an entire band.
I see.
Yeah.
That was the Jimi Hendrix experience.
That is what it was. People didn't know that. That's where they got the name from. It wasn't from music. It was because he used to squat people.
Yeah, he actually ripped it off of Joe Rogan.
Joe. That's why Joe Rogan calls it the experience, because he too squats everybody. It's a good way to go.
Yeah.
He
Jazz cats, you say?
Yeah, these real cool cats that were like jazz. I forgot the name of the band, but they were real cool, Michael. Like down cats. You know? These cats is cool.
I can't think of a jazz band.
Yeah.
They're usually
Maybe they're a little funky.
solo desperados, like Miles Davis or
It was like
John
that.
Coltrane.
This guy was on like a morning TV show or a TV show being interviewed by a nerdy white guy, and he looked like he had a bandana on. Like, he is still, whatever he does is still totally acceptable to look like Jimi Hendrix. But I think it was like, nah, man, Jimi Hendrix looks like me.
So this guy gave Jimi Hendrix
Guitar.
a guitar
It's like, yeah, you can play it and then squat me.
and is still, I'll tell you what, you lift me and these other 3 cats, I'll give you this Stratocaster.
Yeah. That's what happened.
What are you talking about? Because the only thing that I know about Jimi Hendrix is that
Finally, after all these years, you say the thing that you're supposed to say this whole time. I've always wondered, when is he going to say, what are you talking about? Yeah, there you
because
go.
Jimmy was in the Air Force.
Was he?
Of
course, yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
He used to squat airplanes.
He used to, yeah.
Squat an airport once.
Lift entire fleets.
Yeah.
Right. No, I'm pretty sure that he was what is Jimi Hendrix? Because he's an American guy.
He's English.
I don't think he is. I think he's an American guy who was in the Air Force.
Did he go
and
to
then he
England?
started squatting jazz cats in exchange for guitars. At which point he moved to England, which is why you think he's English. Is because they were the first
Changed
people.
his accent.
They were the first people who really appreciated him. Did he speak with an English accent?
I thought he did.
I don't know if I've ever heard Jimi Hendrix speak.
Oh, man. He's like, oh, man, I'm Jimi Hendrix, man. He's pretty light, you know? He's pretty light.
Excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Yeah, I like squatting people, you know? I like squatting, and I play my guitar backwards, you know?
He did play it backwards.
I'm Jimi Hendrix.
That's right.
Yeah. My strings are upside down.
So why did he sing talk like an American guy?
Oh, we all do that.
Huh?
We all do that. That's what all of us do. All English Australians sing American when we
Where's
sing.
me plectrum? All thanks.
No, think about it. Yeah. purple instead of purple.
Right, purple.
Yeah, actually, it's purple. But then he sings there, purple, been a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, cheese and fries.
The wind cries blood.
Yeah, what about Eric Clapton?
Yes, he's English, and yet he...
Is he
he
English?
is. Yeah, he is. I was making fun of you, but
Right.
now I'm making fun of myself.
He's English, yeah? Mm-hmm. And he says...
Layla!
Yeah. And what about cocaine? He says it because the English guy goes,
Yeah.
cocaine.
Cocaine.
Cocaine. He doesn't do that.
So we're sorted for whiz.
What?
Whiz. Isn't that Coke?
Is it?
I think so.
Oh.
Whiz is something.
Oh. Is that why Khalifa is like he's
No, I'm assuming he's American.
like Johnny Rocks or
I make it my business to not know anything
Tony
about
Yayo?
any musician who's released music in the last 20 years.
Yeah. You probably
So far, so good.
It's not that difficult. When you're old enough.
Every now and again, I dip in to see what the kids are into. and I
Wait
go,
till
"Nah,
your
I'm
children
still
get a
good."
little older, then you'll be forced to brush up against it.
Right. What is your...
In the car where they go, like, can I have the phone to make songs? And I
Yeah.
go, yeah, of course. And then all of a sudden it's just, hellacious. Just absolute dog turds.
Did they ever... Like, because my kids...
Everybody's a bitch.
My kids are total... Like, they run the stereo in my car, but they only listen to stuff that's even older than the stuff that I listen to.
Yeah, you're stoked.
Did your kids go through a phase like that, or were they
Yeah,
always
yeah.
listening?
Tiger used to like, yeah, Bob Marley first, and then what was the one that he always started playing, and it was actually like my favorite.
Slide again.
Yeah, he was playing Sly the Family Stone, but there was this song that was like super B track that he was into, and he used to try and play it all the time to annoy me because I didn't like the start of it, and then I got into it because I heard it so much. But yeah, he was totally into that. He knows that, but he's also now into
Who?
like, dude, I don't know the names of them. They're embarrassing. Like it's the one where everyone's a rapper and they are super angry or really rich, and everyone's a bitch.
As far as I can tell, I mean, they are rappers. They're probably really rich. And
Yeah.
if they're talking about their contemporaries, if they think that the other guy's a bitch, they're probably right.
Right. I'm not saying they're lying. I'm just saying that's what they're putting down.
Katie, do you know who the kids listen to?
The only one that I can think of off the top of my head is Yeet. Yeet.
Tiger loves Yeet, yeah. Not yay, Yeet.
Right. No, I understand. Throw. His name is...
No, that's right. Eat.
What's your favorite musicians?
Oh,
It's totally different.
yeah. Because my son yeets everything. There's a lot of yeeting going on in my household. Hello, everybody. We're talking to you again about Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. Look, we've all had a terrific time this winter, but now, if you're anything like me, you are a little too fluffy, and it is well past time you did something about it. Beach bod season is right around the corner, and nobody is more serious about having a six-pack for summer than this guy. That's why I'll be looking into Factor chef-prepared meals, delicious, nutritious, calorie-smart meals, around 550 calories.
They sent them to me, Michael. They're good. I ate them all.
It is healthy. It is delicious. It is easy. And let's not forget fast. If you're ordering from all the meal delivery services, it could take a half hour. It could take an hour and a half. You could have
2 minutes in the microwave and Bob's your uncle.
2 minutes. Factor, get in my belly.
Head to factormeals.com/Ellis50 and use the code Ellis50 to get 50% off your first box. That's code Ellis50 at factormeals.com/Ellis50 to get 50% off your first box, yo.
You never forget your first box. Sus, yeet. I'm basically 11.
All right. Wait, sus?
Sus, yeah. Everything is sus.
But that's old.
Well, I don't know. I mean, did you say sus growing up?
Yeah.
We didn't.
Yeah, that's sus. But
Yeah.
that might be an Australian thing where we
Sounds
shorten
like,
stuff.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Because that's an Outback one for sure. Nah, he's sus, mate. Yeah.
No, that was pretty hot in the 3rd grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And now, 4th grade was yeet.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the next banger.
Fire. People say fire when they're cool.
Right. Straight fire.
Yeah, that was straight fire. Yeah.
What'd you do to yourself?
Yeah, I hurt my back. I tore my groin
Right. I recall the groin
last
tear.
week, and then yesterday I skated with Tony, and I was coming in backwards, and my wheel clipped the coping, so I stepped off as I was in like the impact zone, going backwards, and I hit my hip, and I tweaked my dead person's knee. But I didn't even know that because when I hit my hip, it just pinched something in my lower back. And I was like, oh, man, I think I might have slipped something. And then when I tried to drop in to cross over to get my phone, it pinched and I had to like tighten my stomach to not collapse. And I was like, oh, man, that's not good. And then driving home, just aching. And
Cars probably don't help.
the car ride was 3 hours.
Right.
And that was not cool. But I think it might, I don't know, Dr. Ellis, I don't know if I did a spinal injury. I feel more like the torn groin and then hitting the back tore the front of the groin and the back. Like I think I caused more damage because it's like shooting down the side of my leg. So it's like something's pinched in my right hip. And I don't know what it is, but Everlast called me today. And he's like, dude, I saw your post. I know the guy and hooked me up with this guy. So on Friday, I get 2 hours of body work. So hopefully the pain goes away a little bit. But I got lidocaine. I just put lidocaine patches on it for the show. And they're not doing anything.
I wouldn't expect they would.
I'm just can't really sleep. But it's also, I did it skateboarding. So it doesn't bum me out.
I understand.
Like
I totally understand. It's like a battle wound.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's not, I don't feel like, oh man, when are you going to grow up, Jason? It's like, oh, dude, I'm a skateboarder and I fell on my ass. Like, I forget this always happened, now I'm like, oh man, I tore my groin. Oh man, and my hip. Like the last 2 times I've hurt myself. Yeah. That's what happens there. Like I skated with Kevin Staub, Tony Hawk, and Bucky Lassick. Everybody's 50 or over, but Kevin's like 56, I think. Tony's 54. We're all old. Kevin's coming back from a broken femur. Tony's coming back from a broken femur. Like Kevin's not like the ultimate athlete. And Kevin was doing stuff yesterday where if it went wrong, it's over. Because if you're a 56-year-old guy and you can do head-high aerials.
Yeah, you're good enough to seriously.
You're right.
You got to be really good to get hurt really bad.
Like a couple times he did some bigger airs, and I remember being nervous because it looked fine. It didn't look like it was bad. It was just like, what if it went wrong?
Right.
How hurt would he be?
What's Bucky up to now?
He's still ripping. I think he's more into cars. That's like his. I think he got a lot of money from skateboarding. I hope so. He deserves it.
Good
but
for
he's
him.
still really good. And he's doing like a bunch of different tricks that no one else is doing. But I don't think that the popularity, like vert skating's still not popular. And he's from the older generation and still in the mix with the new guys. So the new guys are going to get more money because they've got like a cooler Instagram or something like that. So
he could be better than them, but they could be more effective tools for selling stuff.
That seems to be what's happening. So he's not. This is just outside looking in. I don't think he's getting what he should be getting.
Right.
And I don't know, man. I mean, he skated yesterday and was doing stuff that nobody in the world can do. He did it all day. I just don't know how many people pay you tons of money for that anymore. You kind of have to have a gimmick.
Yeah.
I think I realize right now. Like, man, I'm not crapping on anybody, but there's another guy that has a mega ramp in his backyard, and he's an awesome dude.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he's as good as Bucky, but because he's got that ramp and he does those big jumps all the time, people like that on Instagram. So he's worth more to and wait, he went to Monster, the big guys, the big paychecks. So he's got a Monster deal because he's always doing new jumps over that gap that kind of go viral, because people that don't skate go, whoa. And it's justified. He's really cool, but there's just not that much of going around. So if you're not him, you're Bucky's a phenomenon. Like, it's kind of insane to, we're some of the best in the world, but we're in our 50s and we're not that good anymore. And he's like, I don't know, 1 year younger than me or something. And he's amazing. So, but I don't think it's a big financial thing. But I know he's got a race team, and I think he makes car part. Like, I think he has an actual, like a team or a shop that make stuff. And I know he's got like a big deal with Subaru and all that stuff. So it still seems pretty cool, but I don't think it's like in my opinion, what it should be.
Right.
Like, he should be showing up loaded.
Yeah. But at least it sounds like what he has going for him is now he gets to skate on his terms for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of people where it was really good, but they didn't save their money, and now maybe they don't. Maybe their heart really is. They'll say all the right stuff, but they don't really want to be there. It's like he's got his money, we assume, we hope, and he's got ways of generating income moving into the future. So what motivates him skating-wise is competing against himself, and how long can he still belong on a ramp with, I mean, when I say people half his age, people a third his age.
Yeah. Less now.
Right.
Because now there's a new generation of really little people that are doing crazy stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, he's never been a gimmick guy. I hate people who just coast on gimmicks.
Mm-hmm. We both thought of a couple people. Anyway.
Let's see. There's some news in the world of douches.
Yeah?
If only we had some sort of intro.
Josh Safdie's muse when he wrote Uncut Jazz.
Right.
Douche.
Grab your pass. Douche.
Big Red, out.
Douche.
Stop being such a douche, you damn cunt.
Dude. We should have thought about that. Douche news.
Bindi
you know who's
Irwin
a douche?
is
Us. We are, for just playing an intro that has...
Yeah. Bindi Irwin is a great Australian, but...
She has got a foul mouth, though, Michael.
Yes, gutter mouth.
Yeah, that's what they call her, among other things.
They are reportedly having
Martin.
trouble finding people, any musical act of any note whatsoever, to perform at the coronation of the new King of England.
Yeah, and I asked you, coronation.
Coronation.
That means making him king, right?
Yes.
And you're saying-
Corona, crown.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Nobody wants to go?
Like, put it this way.
What's wrong with him? What did he do? I thought he was all right.
I don't think he's, like, problematic. Like, he's been on the right side of, like, the libtard stuff. The whole, like, hey, his big cause. Because I think being a prince was a lot like being a first lady. You know how the first ladies in America, they always have their cause.
Yeah.
But it's always something completely not controversial, like literacy.
Yeah.
Nobody gets angry about that.
Stop putting bombs in the ground.
Exactly. Yeah. His big thing when he was prince that I'm aware of was fighting genetically modified foods.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
It's kind of a strange one to throw all your capital behind. But remember, there was a news story going around like a week ago about there's some study, make of this what you will, that there's certain cancers that there's more of in America than there are in Europe. And a bunch of European scientists were like, duh. Remember all that stuff that we barred from our food because we said it was cancer causing? Duh.
Yeah.
So, I mean, fertilizers and stuff and GMOs are two different things. But anyway, I'm not aware of him being hated. I just think nobody likes him.
Yeah. He's pretty lame.
And everybody loved...
He killed Lady Di.
Everybody loved Di, and he's seen as the bad guy. And it's it's like when everybody hangs out with a couple, and then the couple breaks up, and then everybody hangs out with one of them, and nobody talks to that guy anymore.
Yeah.
He's like the literal king of that.
But isn't there like a bunch of bums that want to get the spotlight?
You would think so,
Like,
right?
Who's in second? You know?
Right. You would think...
Spice Girls?
Said no.
Oh!
Right. We're going to have to go pretty far down the list.
Dude, that is
of
already
douches.
low.
I know.
I thought I was joking. They wouldn't really invite them.
So if
You invited the Spice Girls and they said
and they
no.
declined. So if you're going to
Dude.
be the king of England,
No, you're not.
if you're going to be the king of England, you should be able to. I understand you're not going to get.
What about a clown? Could they hire a clown?
I bet they could probably
Right.
get Manchester's finest party clown.
Wayne Gacy.
So look, like I would think, because there's only been what's. It's not like I would think most presidents. Well, that's difficult because people don't want to be with this president because they represent that party or whatever. But there's a new president every 4-8 years.
Prime Minister.
There has not been a new coronation to perform at since well before rock and roll was invented.
Right.
So in theory, too
He
bad.
missed his window.
Too bad legendary Englishman Jimi Hendrix is no longer here.
Right.
He would have been perfect. Purple Rain.
Right. What about Eric Clapton?
I don't know if they've asked Eric Clapton. Do you think?
What about?
Okay, let me ask you
I
something.
got it.
Yeah.
Elton John.
Elton John is out on his farewell tour and says he has dates, I think, the day before and the day after in like Germany.
Yeah.
And he
Can
says
fly
it's
in.
just, he said it's too much.
He knows this lady died. He
Miss Lady
represents.
Di. He's
Yeah.
representing, read between the lines.
Yeah, seriously, read between the lines.
Yeah.
What an insult to ask him.
Right.
Because you put him in a spot where he's like, I got to say no to the king.
Well,
What about the guy that said,
what's
I
more?
don't like Mondays?
Bob Geldof is
Yeah, what
probably
about
available.
Sir Bob Geldof?
Geldof is probably available. Well,
He could
particularly
sing that song for him.
you, if anybody remembers it other than you.
I
Yes.
love that song.
I
That's
know you
great.
do.
What
I
about
know you do.
Silverchair? They're a part of the Commonwealth.
They are. That's right.
Tomorrow.
Probably right now, Charles's underlings are on the phone negotiating a knighthood for Sir Silverchair takes
Well
the
deserved.
stage.
Well deserved. Too bad NXS guy died. He would have been perfect.
He would have
Michael
loved it.
Hutchins.
That guy-
Hutchins.
That guy loved to party.
Hutchinson.
Michael Hutchins.
Hutchins. Yep. He was a ledge.
So Elton John was Di's bro-bra, but he's also Sir Elton John, and you don't get the knighthood without Prince Charles's mummy.
Yeah.
So wouldn't he?
He owes us return the favor.
Wouldn't you feel somewhat
should fly in.
beholden?
Yeah.
He's not.
But he's not because he's Lady Di's friend.
He's not going to.
He knows it's all his fault.
Harry Styles
He's huge.
says
Is he American?
Says he needs to take a nap. No, he is. No, he's English.
No,
He's
I don't know him. I'm pretty cool, man. I don't watch Harry Styles.
Harry Styles is pretty cool.
Yeah. Each to their own.
I bet you know one or two of his songs, and you just don't know.
I bet
that.
you I don't.
Yeah, that's what I said about a lot of things. And then I saw Rihanna at the Super Bowl, and I was like, oh, that's her. Oh, that's her. Oh, that's her.
Oh, yeah?
They're just out there. Some songs
Yeah.
are so big you kind of can't miss them. Harry Styles is British Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
He's the pop star that it's okay for.
He won't. He said flat out no.
He said that him and his band need to rest in between.
That's flat out no.
That's crazy. You
Yeah.
need to rest?
yeah, that's no.
Can't come out and lip sync? I know.
You and just say no. Like, don't be. I mean, you know, that's. I guess you got to be professional. But
Yeah.
I've got to rest is no. It's a no. Hey man, come to my birthday. I've got to rest. That's a no. There's no other way
Right.
around it. I don't care who you are.
If you ask a girl out on a date and she goes, here's the thing, I'm just really tired. I'm going to have to take a nap all weekend.
That's a no.
That's really bad.
That's what's called no.
No is supposedly what Adele said.
Oh, yeah, she's
she would have been
English.
a natural.
Yeah. Good.
Ed Sheeran?
Prince Charles and Ed Sheeran are just so perfect together.
I know.
Why don't they do it?
Sheeran's too cool for it.
Man,
Sheeran's-
that is harsh.
I know.
What about Ozzy?
Ozzy, is he over in England?
No,
he was
no.
said he said he was moving there.
Yeah, but-
because Ozzy retired from touring, said he can't fly around anymore.
Right. So he went back. He could do it.
Even at that, I'm
He
wondering,
loves the king.
is Ozzy has enough time passed that even the most lame old people in England have gotten the message that Ozzy isn't actually satanic?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Right. Because I had to.
Oh, yeah. They could tie that back and be like, you know.
I crossed
Prince
my
of
fingers.
Darkness
Yeah, my son
knighted the king, so that means the king is
peed on the Alamo.
the king of darkness.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I don't
I
think
mean,
so.
you should do that. It would actually make him cool.
It would.
That is as close to cool as he could get if he was the king of darkness.
if he just.
How is he not the king of darkness if the prince of darkness knights him as the king?
I really think it's such a huge missed opportunity. There's nobody.
He is blowing it right
There's
now.
nobody to tell this guy no.
What about-
he could come out on the day of his coronation. He's been so lame for so long. He could come out with purple smoke, come out dressed like Count Chocula.
Like a vampire, yes. Put the little part there, like this point.
Put points on his ears.
His fangs. When he smiles, he's got fangs. People are like, what? He's a vampire. No,
My
he's the
loyal
king of
subjects.
darkness. Yeah. And then he makes a speech and
He's already got the castles.
it starts raining and it goes dark. It is time for me to rule. And Ozzy's like, yeah. And then it's like,
Oh, I knew it.
down. It'd be so cool.
And he just starts ferociously.
We would be all about him.
Headbanging.
We would be all about. He would be so big on TikTok the next day.
Oh, he'd rule TikTok. Sure,
Right?
he'd be the king of TikTok.
If you rule TikTok, you rule the world.
That's
right
the
now.
way that works.
Yeah.
It's not too late
Then
for him
he
to
could
be.
move to the Beverly Hills. Mm-hmm. And do bad stuff.
They brought him out in a coffin. His hands
He
crossed on his
rises,
chest.
whereas he's got his hands like this, but he rises from his heels up to his feet.
Yeah,
with
for
like
sure.
magic. Yeah. And he does the thing like that.
Just got all these graphics of his mom with like red eyes. On
the Blues
stage.
Brothers. The Blues Brothers with the sister. She walks and she floats. She doesn't step.
It will surprise you to learn that I've never seen the Blues Brothers.
What the hell? That's a good movie.
I tried.
Wait, you've tried to watch it and you were like lame?
Yeah, I don't like their music.
Oh, okay.
That's a problem I have.
Yeah.
Like the long scenes
Oh, that's right. You hate blues.
where they're performing with blues musicians. I know I'm supposed to be excited that that's Aretha Franklin who's playing like a
You
waitress.
better think.
2 packs of cigarettes, a full tank of gas, and 10 hours to Chicago. Right?
Look, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. But don't be crapping on it. That's not cool.
That's the thing,
It's a
right?
good movie. There's a lot of. I'm not defending it. It doesn't need to be defended. It's an amazing movie. You don't get it.
Yeah, I honestly don't. I've never really. And I like John Belushi. Dan Aykroyd's a different story. I think the time has come for us to realize that Dan Aykroyd was never actually funny. See, you're stumped. But what about?
I'm thinking about it.
I know. Keep thinking.
Wow.
Right? Pretty amazing.
How did he do that? He's not funny.
He's got the right friends.
He never did anything funny. He was cheesy as hell.
Yeah, he had some moments like in The Great Outdoors with John Candy where he goes, hey, if I could get a couple desserts in him, can we get some T-shirts for the kids too?
Okay,
Like, he could play- he could
that
play-
guy was good.
He could play a jerk
There
on
you
that.
go. That was a good
But
guy.
that's peak Aykroyd.
That was pretty good, though. That was a range. He had a range.
That's a lot to coast on. So the Spice Girls have scheduling conflicts.
Yeah,
They,
well.
they can't get all 5 of them together because
that makes
Lord
sense.
knows everybody needs.
What about just Victoria? What about David Beckham?
What's he going to do? Just come out there and kick soccer balls into the crowd?
Kick his head off. Just sucker kick Prince Charles's head off. I'm the king.
So
That would be a better king. David Beckham as the king of England would be. That makes sense.
So the people who are rumored to be next in line to perform at the coronation.
Oh, here we go.
And he could have
B-side.
I cannot stress this enough. He could have any satanic metal band.
Yeah.
They would cancel festivals to come and perform
Yeah.
at the coronation
Yeah.
if only you would let them.
Was it Obituary?
Yeah.
Those guys are ready to go.
Those guys,
And they will put on a show.
they always do.
They don't phone it in, Michael.
No.
What about Kelly Osbourne?
Seriously.
I now, not you. You know what I mean?
Sir Kelly.
The king.
So Robbie Williams
Oh,
was
yeah.
in a boy group.
Wait, no way.
Was
Robbie
it-
said no.
Robbie-
That's impossible.
Robbie was in a boy group. That's where he came from. That's like their in sync called Take That.
Yep.
So the British media said, and they've got their sources. Sometimes they know what they're talking about. Sometimes they don't, but they're not completely making this up. They're saying it seems like it's coming down to either Robbie Williams' old group without Robbie Williams.
You can't. Man, that isn't.
or
This is.
or legendary Englishman Lionel Richie.
Yeah, he's totally American.
Yeah.
He's in the Commodores, right?
Yeah. That guy used to sing Brick House. Yeah.
But Lionel Richie is legendary.
Yeah.
You cannot have Robbie Williams band without Robbie Williams. You can't.
Can you have Robbie Williams band with Lionel Richie?
No. No.
Or somebody called Ollie Murs.
No. What about that?
What about Oasis?
What about? Ooh.
Yeah.
They won't do it.
But what about, like, did he ask?
Did he ask?
Did he ask Led Zeppelin? Did he ask Paul McCartney? Are they just like such a foregone conclusion, hard pass?
Yeah.
Say what you will about England. They've got
Isn't he Sir Paul McCartney?
He has to be, yeah.
Right? So that makes sense.
He should be able to. Oh, you know what he should be able to get is he should be able to get a super group. Like he should get Mick Jagger, Paul McCartney, Pete Townsend, and Robert Plant to do Barbershop Quartet.
Yeah.
Now that would be flexing.
Now, I don't understand how that isn't happening.
Or just go hard black metal.
Would some of these old people would have, if the king died earlier and Prince Charles became the king in the 80s,
Yeah.
it would have been pumping. Or not?
I would think so. I just think at the end of the day, you might not be that excited about Charles, but he's not like a terrible person. It's not like he's universally hated. People just kind of don't like him all that much. He's just sort of there.
He's lame.
He's just kind of lame. At a certain point, isn't it less about Charles and more about, boy, little Mick Jagger never could have imagined that one day I would have been performing for the king, right?
Yeah.
Right. Like Rod Stewart.
Wait, he wouldn't do it?
He's not on the list that I'm looking at, but Rod Stewart's
He lives in Beverly Hills.
not too cool to do anything. He flies planes. I'm sure he does.
Yeah. What about a famous English actor? But you're talking about they need to do a show. Is that
I
what
think
you're
they
saying?
do some kind of
They
performance.
have to sing?
I think that's the idea.
All right, that's different.
You know what'd be cool is if he got the Sex
Beyond
Pistols.
Borg.
Got the Sex Pistols to sing "God Save the Queen."
Oh.
He could also go fully punk rock
Yeah. That would...
if he just showed up.
These
with
are
like
some great ideas. It's better than
11 face piercings.
Dude, Spice Girls that would have been so depressing.
Yeah.
Like you got the Spice Girls. Why would you get the Spice Girls? It's like an insult to England. You're trying to say England hasn't done anything since the Spice Girls? You know?
Right. And again, you get to choose from everything that's happened in
The
music.
Stones won't do it.
I
That's insane. Wait, are they American?
they are not.
Right. So what the hell?
I don't know.
I don't get this. I thought those old guys loved the royalty.
If you accept the knighthood, if you take the sword tap,
Yeah.
I just assume you're in for this thing. What about Sting?
He's American, isn't he?
No, he's Sir Sting.
Oh, okay.
I think.
He is Sir Sting.
If he's not, he will be.
That doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
Right?
What's his name? Like Gordon Sumner?
What about Gordon Ramsay?
He could just go out there.
He's
and
English. He could cook him like a crepe
Just, right.
and be like, here you go, you royal prick. Get that up, yo.
Yeah, that would be some insane gallantry.
Or he could just get him to sing.
If you want to be my lover.
Yeah. Spice Girl cover. And then get
He
him.
just goes out there and does Elton John and Harry Styles and Spice Girls.
He does 3 songs in there. Oh, the greatest
Like
English.
a candle in the wind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. And he can do that. Sex Pistols too. Yeah.
Why not? Today's gonna be the day.
Yeah. I think Oasis is kind of against royalty, though, right? Like when you listen to Oasis,
Yeah.
you don't think these guys really respect the Queen.
No. I think at the end of the day,
The king.
the guitar player would do it, the guy who wrote the songs, but it's not really on brand for Liam.
Yeah. They seem angry.
Yeah, I think they were political.
Right.
Like they were on board with like the Tony Blair, like the Clinton guy that they had over there. I think they might have done some shows for when he was running for prime minister.
Oh, okay.
So,
That's weird. So they'll do it for the prime minister, but not for the
but
king.
not for Prince Charles. Yeah,
What did he
black
do?
metal is waiting to embrace you. son O, will come.
The King of Darkness is the only way that he can stay relevant. If he is now the King of England
Yeah.
and darkness, we all love him.
No, nobody's really that impressed with King of England. You're never going to beat your mom at her own game, which was Queening England.
Yeah.
But becoming the official spokesperson for
Darkness.
Satan and evil.
Yeah.
That throne is just waiting for you, big boy.
Yeah. Yeah, and he has all they could make so many great costumes to make him look real evil.
He's got unlimited budget for
All the jewels.
velvet.
Imagine like crazy upside down crosses just covered in rubies and diamonds.
He could wear the crown jewels
Yeah.
to adorn his
Yeah.
satanic majesty.
Yeah. Sky's the limit.
Yeah,
Go to the dark.
it's not too late.
Yeah.
Elsewhere in England,
His weird ugly wife could be all satanic too.
Oh, she is.
Right? She got evil witch face, bro.
No doubt about it.
She
A
could
lot of
come in
people
on a
look better
broom.
at goth.
She like seriously, who looks more like a witch in the world?
Than her.
What's
yeah.
her name?
Camilla Parker Bowles.
Yeah, that's right. Camilla the Witch.
Yeah.
They call her.
Did they ask Susan Boyle?
Oh,
This is such a bad look. Also,
they go together though.
Also a top shelf witch.
Right, and she can sing stupid like royal songs.
Yes.
What about what's that little girl that protests people?
Greta Thunberg.
Thunberg, yeah.
Yeah.
What about her?
You want her
She could
to
sing I Was a Skater Boy or whatever.
She could come out and do Avril covers.
Yeah.
I saw Avril broke off an engagement.
Oh no.
Yeah, I thought it was really love for her, and
She married Nickelback, right?
no, she hasn't been with Nickelback for some time.
Yeah, but at one point she did.
I think they were betrothed. Yeah,
What does betrothed mean?
married. They were the king and queen of Canadian music
yes.
for a minute there. But she's broke off her engagement with this guy, Maud's son.
Yeah, I met him.
Yeah. It's weird because I'm looking at
It's
this.
weird that you would marry him.
I'm looking at this selfie.
Maybe he was having a bad day.
I'm looking at a selfie of him, and he looks like, and I don't mean this as an insult to him or
He was
her.
a mess.
He looks like if she transitioned and became a dude, this is the selfie that she would.
Oh yeah, he looks like her.
Kinda,
Oh wow.
right?
A little bit. Yeah, that's creepy.
That's a cool.
Think of like an elf, like a gnome.
That's a cool look. They look cool.
Yep. She even let him touch her.
Yeah, I can
As that,
see.
as that photo
He's looking pretty close right there. Yeah.
happily demonstrates.
Wait, did she get a sleeve tattoo? She got a tattoo on her forearm?
Yeah, she's got something going on there.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Tony said he skated with her and she seemed nice, but I'm just suspicious, man.
I mean, obviously,
she just comes across like a C-bomb.
I know that song has meant a lot throughout action sports, and particularly in,
It
in
gets
your
me. It gets
world.
me going. Every time I hear it, Michael, it gets me going. That's what X Games, blood flowing. He was a skater boy. See you later, bro.
It's like she's singing about me.
It's like she's talking to me.
This is like every relationship I've ever had.
I should camp in her backyard and then ask for some soup.
A guy got banned from a liquor store in England after threatening to make his girlfriend poop on the floor.
Was the girlfriend going to do it?
No word from her in this article.
It's a big request.
You got to really know a lady.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a ridiculous request.
Yeah, he got
What
into-
girl out there does that? Like, Katie, if I was like, poo right now, would
You
you
see what
poo?
these guys are doing to me?
I would never.
Right. You don't have a camera?
No, not today.
He was in a bit of a disagreement with the shop worker. He said, "You really pissed me off," they said, according to court documents. And then some customers like, "Hey, man, just leave that kid alone. Just buy your rumplements and get out of here." And he goes, "Oh, really? Oh, really? Hey, Tina, take a dump on the floor."
And did she say hell no?
There's literally...
Wait, we're saying there's no response. Because if there's no response, if she laughs and leaves,
Yeah.
I don't think that's bad. But if she goes, really? And starts undoing her pants?
I don't think she ever actually reached for her.
Right. So
Idle threats of angry defecation. Okay,
it's
in
like
your book?
saying suck a butt. I don't really want you to suck it.
It's kind of like that. But I've heard people say that before. Mainly you. But I've heard people say things of that nature. I've never, ever been in any situation where I heard somebody go, man, it's getting pretty rocky in there. I thought I was going to have to make Tina take a dump on the floor.
Yeah.
That's not a thing that people do.
I wonder if that would work in a traffic incident. Like you get pulled over and I just go, Katie, take a dump in the car to like throw him off, you know?
Well, that would be a different story. I think
Then it'd be like, well, now you're under arrest, lady, for defecating. And I'd be like, well, I'll just leave.
Is it illegal to defecate in your own car?
That is a question. Is there any police listening that could tell us whether it's cool to poopy in your own car?
I think it's all right.
All right. But what about if kids see you pooping in the car? That's bad.
If they see you do it, yes, that's right. Because now you're exposing yourself.
There's ways to poop in a car that could be construed as illegal. Like if I'm parked,
Good point.
that's my back that'll laugh. If I turned around in the passenger seat
Yeah.
and stood up
Right.
and poopied on the dashboard, and a police officer was walking
Right.
by, does he have the right to
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
intrude on my
Right.
domain? Or if I go, what? And he's
Right.
like, can I see some an identification? I'd be like, what crime have I committed? And he says, I just saw you do a big poopy onto the dashboard. And I go,
Yeah.
is that a crime?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh,
Are you in public when you're in your car?
yeah.
I think you
Oh,
are.
wait. Yeah, because if you jerk off in your car
Right.
and a cop walks by, he can probably do something.
Arguably.
You sound like it's pretty for sure.
I'm pretty positive
Right,
that
all
public masturbation
But if I do a
remains against the law.
poopy in the car,
If nobody can tell,
right,
then
unless you look in there. But if you look in there, it's like, is that not your fault? 'Cause you can't get me for indecent exposure if you see me naked through my window of my house, right?
true. I don't think
What about if you looked in the window and you see me doing a poopy into a cup?
right. Well, I am a lawyer, and I
Good.
can tell you that you would not have the same reasonable expectation of privacy in your car that you would in your living room.
Interesting.
Yes.
What about if I live in my car?
That's one of the downsides of living in your car.
Ah,
Right.
That
People
seems
think
like the only
people
one.
think you're on easy street once you move
Right.
into your car.
Right, because that's what I was thinking. What about if I have I've made a toilet in the back seat?
I don't think legally that changes much.
Right.
Probably is going to make the cleanup a little bit more
What about
palatable.
this? What about if I have the window down? I'm like, oh, I'm taking a huge crap.
Right.
And the cop comes over and I'm not.
Are your pants up or down?
Up. And I'm like, ha ha. I do
Let
like
him-
that Jake Paul laugh. I go, hey.
Let them go, boys. Let them go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice one, officer, but not today.
This is kind of weirdly reminding me of a story that you sent us off your TikTok. A man alleges his girlfriend tried to run him down with her car because he asked her for a hot chip.
Right. Those ones that they come in one little pack, right?
A hot chip, we're talking about.
Oh, wait, this is the. Oh, okay.
We're talking
These
about English
this is
people.
in England, yeah. So these
well,
are fries.
These are in Australia.
Yeah.
You folks also call them chips.
Yeah, I guess we do still. I should go back one day.
Fries is a better word.
Yep. That was tough, but yep, I will admit that. Chips are, because we have chips.
And you call them crisps.
Nah, it's just the thing. They're both chips. I never call them crisps.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like I have a bag of chips, and then there's
a second.
a burger with chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they. Yeah, the crisp thing is not a thing that anybody around me use.
Oh. Oh, I think in England they do. They are.
Instead
crisps.
of a napkin, they say serviette.
Oh.
I remember making fun of my brother for saying that, and he was like, "You're in Australia." I was like, "That's a
I
good
always
point."
wondered what that was. I heard people say that from time to time.
Yeah, serviette, a napkin,
Yeah.
and in Australia you don't get them.
Napkins.
Yeah, you got to ask for them.
Oh, really?
It's like water. You don't get water at the table either.
What is
You don't tip either.
when you don't ask for a napkin, is the assumption that you're using your sleeve or that you're some magical person that doesn't need one?
Don't know. I don't think
Anyhow.
they thought about it.
Here's this news clip
Yeah.
that mostly tells the story.
Charlotte Harrison, in handcuffs, led away from court. She's accused of causing this serious crash, allegedly sparked by an argument.
I asked for a chip out of a half chicken and chips salad pack she had. I thought she was finished. Yeah, I shouldn't have asked for the chip.
Right. Remember
It was
that.
about that simple.
Yeah, it's chicken and chips, which is different. That's more of a newer thing. That was like coming in the 2000s.
I'm picturing like rotisserie.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. It's more of a. We have a place that's like KFC called Red Rooster.
Sure.
And
That checks
we
out.
have KFC too, but we have Red Rooster.
Right.
And Red Rooster has a chicken and chips.
Yeah, that's solid.
So that could be what they're talking about.
Right.
Chicken and chips are pretty tasty. Red Rooster's pretty good.
I'll eat that.
Yeah, I would. That's fast food, but I would eat Red Rooster.
I think when it comes down to it,
Shout out to Red Rooster.
chicken's always been the superior fast food to burgers.
Yeah.
You know, like Popeyes. Oh yeah, Popeyes. That's fine.
Yeah, I had Popeyes in New York when I was younger. I had a biscuit,
Yeah,
and I was like, dude, this is the greatest place ever.
it's not bad.
And then I had it in LA, and it sucked turds. And I was like, what's going on with this?
That's too bad,
Because there's one in Hollywood, and it sucks.
huh? Because Popeyes is from Louisiana, and I was down there recently, and it's like not a joke. Like and I've said before, in LA recently, I was in a situation where I was forced to go to the third best taco stand on a block, and it was like pretty good. That's just Mexican food. There's whole cities that have no good tacos. Here we can have 3 on a block, and they're all okay.
Yeah.
They have. I saw blocks in. There's blocks that are more fried chicken places than not in New Orleans.
Right.
It's just their thing.
Yeah. It's making me hungry.
So what happened was the chick, he asked his girlfriend for a French fry, which angered her deeply.
He thought she was finished, Michael.
So she made him get out of the car, and she said it was an accident that she accidentally stepped on the accelerator after doing a U-turn and heading back in his direction.
Not trying to run him over.
No. She would never do that. And her evidence for that was that she didn't flee the scene of the crime. She's like, well, if I was trying to kill him, why would I still be here?
Yeah.
So they're having.
Is she intoxicated?
I don't think so. I think she's just crazy and evil.
It's weird to go out with somebody that could potentially murder you for taking a chip. You think there'd be hints before that, you know?
Some people, it takes 2 to tango. I've come to.
Do you patch things up with that lady after that incident?
Maybe, because it
She
takes.
seemed hotter than him.
She's. I don't know. If you pull up the news story again, you can scroll down. You can see the 2 of them canoodling. I think they're both
Pretty not hot.
6s.
Right.
She's not that hot, and he's not that bad.
He's not that good either, by that video, but whatever.
I saw a story about a couple that just celebrated their. See that one there. They look about right for one another.
Okay.
I saw
She doesn't look like she would run you over for taking her chips. Can't judge a book by its cover, but I would have thought I'll take all the chips.
yeah, she seems like somebody who would enjoy sharing a bag of chips with me.
Yeah. Especially
Everybody's got their
Red
triggers.
Rooster.
Right.
It's like $4.
They're cheap. Yeah, there's plenty more where that came from. But I've just come to understand plenty of people met this
Maybe
lady.
he cheated on her and ate the chips.
Maybe.
Like she was like, wait, have you been sleeping with Cheryl? And he goes, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, give me a chip. and that was the last straw.
Yeah. Let me
He's
show
just-
you. Let me demonstrate what I did to Cheryl
With my mouth and this chip.
I think she probably.
He was in the middle of going,
Yeah. Oh, Cheryl.
yeah. Oh, Cheryl, mate. Just like that. Yeah. And then next thing you know, she took off.
Maybe she probably would have mentioned that at the bail hearing. Is
yeah.
all I'm saying, because that's
If
what
she
they're.
mentions that and you're the judge, do you give her, does that change your verdict?
I would want to see like the priors.
Oh, if she had, well, okay, she hasn't got any.
If she's a choir girl and then he's filleting a French fry to taunt her about how he's stepping out with her sister or something,
Her mother.
I give her bail.
Yeah.
Because that's all this is about. Is can you live freely and do we trust that you'll show up for the
not
for the
run
trial?
over anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If she had chip-related jealousy issues with the last
This
four
is not
guys.
the first time someone's tried to take a chip out of her chicken and chips, and,
Yeah.
and she's ran over people for it.
Exactly. But I just saw a news story about some couple that just celebrated their 50th, I think, or 60th wedding anniversary, where she took out a hit on her husband in like 81. And it was like some teenage dude that she hired. And
Those are the best for the job.
the teenager tried unsuccessfully to murder the husband like 6 times.
6?
Like blew up his car and shot him just over and over and over. And they patched it up. They realized that there was the real issue wasn't that she had hired somebody to murder him. It was that they weren't communicating anymore. And also that he'd been cheating on her prior to that. That's why she did it.
Yeah.
He was like a pizza guy. And when he wasn't busy making gabagool, he was, sticking it to the waitress or whatever. Right. So she hired the teenage hitman, and they just celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. And in their basement, like down where the pool table is or whatever, they have all the newspaper clippings up of the trial of her.
But they really hashed it out.
That's amazing. I wonder. Yeah.
Remember that one time where I wanted you dead for like 10 years? That was crazy, right? Yeah.
You.
Yeah, I hope they don't have babies.
I think they do have kids.
Oh, no.
I think everybody's...
Wait, so the kids see that?
I guess so.
What kind of a lesson is that?
I think the lesson is...
Don't kill your girlfriend?
I learned the hard way.
Yeah. What happened to the teen? Did they get him?
Oh, yeah, he's probably still in jail.
Right. Because, I mean, after all, he did try to kill a man.
7 times.
Yeah.
Right.
That's tough.
You got to get that guy. I think he was the real problem.
Yeah. Did you know that Tiger Box, Ellis Mania, April 7th and 8th, there is some celebrities singing music, and I found out yesterday that Tony Hawk has to teach a family for a charity, like they won a skateboard lesson with Tony Hawk.
Sure.
So he has to give these kids a skateboard lesson at his ramp and then fly to Vegas to sing.
Same day?
Ace of Spades, yeah, same day.
It's a hell of a guy.
He told me that yesterday, and when he was saying it, I was like, man, he's out. He's like, but I'm still going to make it. I'm like, really? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because it's cool, really cool that you be there singing that, but you also don't have to. Just like when you were saying, like, Harry Styles is tired. Like, you know who your friends are.
Right. You should do something very special for him someday.
Yeah, you're right, Michael.
Has he ever wanted like a Prince of Darkness style birthday celebration? I mean, he did dress like the guy, right? From
the vampire?
Yeah, what we did in Shadows.
Man, that was so cool.
Sadly, it seems that a photo that spread across the internet like wildfire was a fake, and that whatever you might think of Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, she does have 5 toes.
Oh, wait, you're saying that
Did you see the picture?
Arsonist? No, I don't know anything about this.
The picture of her she has like convincing hooves.
What?
Yeah, there's a Twitter photo.
She has horse feet?
It seemed that way. A lot of people
She is a bit horsey.
Arguably. It's a MTG
What? You don't
fake.
think she's I mean, if you were going to say what kind of animal does she look like? She doesn't look like an animal.
No. I'll tell you exactly what animal
She's got a bit of a horse head.
What animal she looks like to me. She looks like... No, that's actually not. It's in the doc. This was used as a supporting bit of evidence that she doesn't have horse feet, but she does have weird club toes.
What is happening? I don't know anything about this.
But I think I know the explanation on that is I think that she was just like... She buried her toes in the sand.
Okay, but...
At least a couple of them.
But we're talking... There's a thing going on right now where people are talking about that Marjorie Taylor Greene has no toes.
That she has more like it's in the doc, Katie. It says MTG fake. She posed for a photo with disgraced one-time Trump administration guy Michael Flynn, and people doctored this to.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, when I first saw it, it took me a second. It's amazing, right? One of the great Photoshops. To me, what she looks like is when there was a TV series in the 80s of Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
And Linda Hamilton was the Beauty. She reminds me of the guy who played the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
He was very handsome for a beast.
Yeah. Look, on the scale of humans, I don't think she looks that bad.
It does seem, and I'm here to debunk
But I
rumors.
do think her face shows signs of unattractiveness. So I don't know if that's a word. From her.
From within?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if that's just because I don't approve of her message, but she just has a head that looks like it's spends a lot of time being negative. That's all.
Yeah, and I think that people's faces do ultimately bear out. Eventually, on the outside, you're not going to look sexy or hot or whatever, but you're going to wear your personality and the way that you've lived on your face. I strongly believe with that.
You know, like Craig Ferguson, his face looks like a good guy.
Yeah, agreed.
You know? Well, whose toes are those?
Well, that's the question. So that got me thinking. I wonder who
put that up, Katie,
in the celebrity world has really problematic toes.
I mean, those three want to kill the big toe, and they will not stop until they get a hold of it and strangle it to death.
I'll give you a hint.
Oh, you're saying there's a celebrity? Wait, those are celebrity toes?
Yes.
Oh, who would wear those shoes? I just answered that question.
It is a celebrity rocker.
Yeah. Okay.
Legendary rocker. The sort of man.
Joan Jett.
The sort of man who would paint his toenails like that.
A man?
No.
Those
two are really working in
Who's the drummer
tandem.
of Guns N' Roses?
It's not Stephen Adler.
It's not Stephen Adler?
No.
Because that would make sense. I'd be like, yeah, of course. Your toes are trying to get off you. Nikki Sixx.
Katie, do you want to wager a guess?
Yeah, I feel like these are Aerosmith guys.
As a matter of fact, you were looking at the toes of Steven Tyler.
Oh, that also adds up.
Right.
The shoes, it's like rock mom shoes. It all makes sense.
Man, what happened?
I think he has some actual foot disorder.
You think?
Like it's got a name.
Yeah, called bung toe. Man, that is like he was born with some bung. Sports was not going to be his forte.
He's always been
He ain't doing a kickflip.
He's sort of cat-like on stage.
Nah, I don't catch the cat-like, but okay. Yeah.
In his prime, I think he
Okay.
he juked and jived a little bit up there. So I put together a great big list of supposedly ugly celebrity toes, and when we
Man,
wrap
if you had toes like that and you're a lady, why would you wear?
See, that's the question. Because I don't want to be cruel. I'm not a perfect-looking person by any stretch of the
You do have
imagination.
lovely feet.
I do have pretty good feet. I don't want to brag, but
Yep. It's okay. You can
don't take it from me. Take it from Tara Patrick.
There you go.
Right. And that was what I thought is, okay, Steven Tyler, that's not funny. He's got a disease. We don't make fun of people because they're ugly or because they have diseases, but nobody made him wear rock and roll flip-flops.
Yeah, he could take it.
And that's, but by the way, if people are interested, there's way more where these came from that'll be on the Patreon show that we're taping after this. But the second one I'll share with you now is, can you guess which celebrity who did not need to show their toes owns those toes right there?
Beyonce.
This is a famous talk show host.
Oh, that's Wendy Williams.
It's not Wendy Williams.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the feet of Tyra
Tyra
Banks?
Banks has, in some circles on the internet, legendarily ugly feet. Even she owns how ugly her feet are.
But that's not it.
But that's not Tyra Banks, and that's not Wendy Williams.
Star Jones.
That's not Star Jones.
I see Tyra Banks on her talk show spit in her hand and rub on her toe to get some dry skin off and then just keep talking.
Ew.
I respect Tyra for what she did. I don't think it's a I don't think it's an accident. She pivoted really, really hard, and I think it actually made me respect her quite a bit. Like, you don't just spit on your toes if that doesn't come from your soul. Obviously, that's the real Tyra. But when she got that talk show, that was when talk shows were so big and everybody was getting one, and 90% of them were canceled within a year. And I think she correctly understood that the way this is going to work is if women who sit home all day and don't get off the couch find me relatable.
It's Oprah.
Those are Oprah's toes.
That makes sense because she's old. And I reckon she just wore like weird shoes that did that over time.
Is that the way that works?
I don't know.
Because my wife had bunion surgery. That's what you're looking at, is it?
Oh.
I don't know that you get, like, if there's certain people who I left out of this.
You could get a bunion surgery.
There's certain people who I left out of this because I think that it does apply to them. Like, for example, Michelle Yeoh, the actress who's going to win all the awards and has already winning all the awards for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, she's got crazy jacked up feet, but she's a martial artist.
Yeah.
She jacked her feet. Like, that's, but I don't know. I've never been a lady. Is it, people will say, well, you wear high heels on runways day after day. That's going to happen. Is it really that bad? I don't know, but that seems to be.
Ballet people have mangled toes.
The most gnarly feet I've ever seen belong to Mikhail Baryshnikov.
See?
But I don't know what Oprah's excuse. And again, nobody said you could just wear closed toe shoes.
Yeah. She goes on vacation a lot.
She does.
Whatever, Oprah.
She's earned it.
Yeah. Her toes match her.
And let's see. Finally, I imagine by now they have already found a home for the legendary tattooed Mexican gang cat.
Yeah, I wish people would stop sending it to me. I get it. I got a bald cat. I got tattoos. I don't think it's cool. I think cat's cool, but I think, man, you imagine how bummed out that cat was when they did that.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's cool at all. I think the cool part is that they rescued him from the drug gang that he was imprisoned with, and now he can go to live with people who
won't tattoo him.
Won't give him any more tattoos unless he asks for them.
Right. Cool looking cat though. But yeah, that's sad.
Yeah.
Poor kitty.
It looks very, very cool, but it doesn't make it any less wrong.
He looks awesome. Yeah, if you could do it and it didn't hurt, my cats would be covered.
Is it out of the question?
Yes.
Have you ever tried putting a temporary tattoo on the cat?
Oh, no, you could do that easy. Oh. Yeah, that's a good idea. They move a lot, though.
I could have easily put...
Yeah, you could.
I could.
But if you put something wet and slimy on him, he'd probably get up.
We'll try next week.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
In the course of this episode, I could have given your cat a back sleeve.
That would have been pretty badass. He does look okay with it right now. Man, he likes hanging out with you. That's cool.
Well, it's been a great show.
Yeah.
But there's so much more fun waiting for each and every one of you at patreon.com/EllisMade.
He's right, you know.
Yep.
Make sure you take care of each other and yourselves, everybody. Don't die.